Interrogator Vex-High had broken thousands of prisoners across a dozen species. The Covenant paid him well for his ability to extract information without leaving marks, using psychological pressure and his species' natural telepathic abilities. But the human sitting across from him just smiled and offered him coffee from her thermos. "I'm Lieutenant Sarah Park," she said pleasantly, as if they were meeting at a cafe rather than in a stark interrogation cell. "You look tired. Long shift." Vex-High's 6 eyes blinked in sequence, his species' equivalent of confusion. "I am the one who asks questions here, human." Sure. Park poured the coffee into her cup's lid and slid it across the table. "But you've been at this for what, 12 hours straight? The guards mentioned you haven't taken a break." He stared at the steaming liquid suspiciously. "You're attempting to manipulate me." "I'm attempting to be polite," Park corrected. "Where I come from, we share food and drink even with enemies. Especially with enemies, sometimes. Makes everything more civilized." Despite himself, Vex-High sampled the coffee. It was surprisingly good. "Begin with your unit's defensive positions around Kepler Station." "Before we get to all that," Park said, settling back in her chair, "can I ask you something? What made you choose this career? Interrogation, I mean. Seems like difficult work." That's not relevant. Humor me. We've got time." Something in her tone made Vex-High pause. He'd broken generals who screamed defiance and spies who stayed silent for days. But this human acted like they were colleagues having a chat. "The Covenant recruited me for my telepathic abilities," he found himself saying. "My species is rare. Valuable. Must be lonely," Park observed. "Being the only one of your kind on this ship." Vex-High's throat tightened. He hadn't spoken to another Zafrani in 3 years. "We're discussing your military positions." Right. But seriously, when's the last time you went home? Saw your family?" "I have no family. The Covenant is my family now." Park's expression softened. "They tell you that, don't they? But do they really treat you like family? Or like a useful tool?" "Stop this." Vex-High stood, his telepathic tendrils flaring. "I know what you're doing." "What am I doing?" You're being kind." The word came out like an accusation. Park nodded. "Yeah, I am." "Is that really so strange? So threatening? When's the last time someone just talked to you, Vex-High? Not as an interrogator, not as a weapon, but as a person." To his horror, Vex-High felt his eyes growing wet. "The Covenant saved my world. We owe them everything." "Did they save it, or did they conquer it and call it salvation?" Park leaned forward. "Look, I've read the reports. The Covenant shows up, creates a crisis, then saves worlds from that crisis. Classic protection racket. But here's the thing about humans, we've seen this playbook before. We've been both the conquerors and the conquered. We know what real help looks like versus exploitation." "You know nothing about." Vex-High stopped. Through his telepathy, he could sense Park's emotions. There was no deception, no manipulation. Just genuine concern. For him. For an enemy interrogator. "The defensive positions you want," Park said quietly. "They don't exist. We're not defending Kepler Station. We're evacuating civilians. Every human ship in the sector is running refugee operations. We know we can't win a straight fight, so we're saving as many lives as possible, including Covenant species who want to leave. That's impossible. The Covenant would never allow. The Covenant doesn't have to allow it. Free will is funny like that." Park pulled out a data pad. "These are the real coordinates. Refugee pickup points. Safe passage routes. Medical stations for all species. We've even got Zafrani-compatible atmosphere zones." Vex-High stared at the data. "Why show me this?" "Because in about 6 hours, this ship is going to attack what they think is our main fleet. But they'll find empty space and a broadcast on loop offering sanctuary to anyone who wants it. Your commanders will be furious. They'll want someone to blame." Park met his eyes. "Someone expendable. Someone who failed to extract the real intelligence." The implications hit Vex-High like a shock weapon. "You're offering me defection. I'm offering you a choice. For the first time in years, probably." Park stood, leaving the coffee thermos on the table. "The shuttle bay will be unguarded during shift change at 0300. Shuttle 7 has a navigation chip for the nearest refugee center. Whatever you decide, Vex-High, make it your choice. Not theirs." She moved toward the door, then paused. "Oh, and that coffee? My grandmother's recipe. She used to say a good cup could change someone's whole day. Sometimes even their whole life." After she left, Vex-High sat alone in the interrogation room staring at the thermos. For the first time since joining the Covenant, he wondered what his own grandmother would think of who he'd become. At 0300, Shuttle 7 departed with 1 passenger and a stolen thermos. By 0400, the Covenant's intelligence network had its first Zafrani double agent feeding information to the Human Refugee Alliance. All because of a cup of coffee and a conversation that treated an interrogator like a person worth saving.